come up here for Attorney General is David Shestokas. David, please come on up. And please, for an individual from the back, please try to keep it down again. Be respectful of the people that are up here on the stage. Much appreciated.
Excuse me. Good evening, Dave Shestokas. I want to give my thanks to Lieutenant Colonel Sargis Sangari for not only being the MC for this evening, but for his service to our country. He's a true warrior. I'll tell you, it's nice to hear some American stories of Casey Hellick, that's running for the United States Senate, and from Max Solomon, that's running for Governor of Illinois. They're two immigrants. They're American. They are the American dream. My grandparents are all from the country of Lithuania. I have one grandmother that, in particular, that I speak about regularly. My grandmother, Barbara Shestokas. She was one of 11 children. They put her on a boat at the turn of the 20th century when she was 15 years old. Her family had a farm. Two of her brothers were priests. One sister was a nun. Another was an educator. The rest of them ran the farm. Communists killed 8 of her brothers and sisters. Grandma was born in September. She ultimately made us celebrate her birthday on the 4th of July because that was the anniversary of our American citizenship. And this is the values that she instilled in myself and my family. And I wanted to do that because people were talking about values, and we talked about what makes people do what they do. And my grandmother has instilled those kinds of values in myself and my family. As for me, I am a former state's attorney. I am a former state's attorney of Cook County, back when we actually used to prosecute and arrest people and punish them for crimes. That is not something that's going on now. More recently, however, in 2016, when people have mentioned issues about elections, 2016, I was part of the Trump-Rubio legal team in Florida, and I discovered 150,000 illegally opened ballots in the back room in Florida. In 2020, I was also on part of the legal team in Pennsylvania, and I ultimately went to court with Mayor Giuliani, and I ultimately testified before the Pennsylvania Senate on election matters. So I've been doing things on election matters. And somebody asked me what I did during the pandemic here in Illinois. I actually sued on behalf of the Standing in the Word Ministries in Grundy County in Morris, Illinois, and that church became open 2 weeks after I filed the lawsuit. So it's not that I've been sitting around doing nothing while our rights and our elections have been under attack, or our religious liberties have been under attack. I take offense to the idea that I have been sitting around doing nothing, not doing things for either the people of the state of Illinois or the people of the United States of America. We've been doing things defending elections. You know, this country is based upon the consent of the governed. And if we do not protect the consent of the governed, everything else is lost. So elections are very, very important. And there are several duties in what they call the Illinois Attorney General Act. The first duty, of course, is to represent the people of the state of Illinois. Down lower on the list, in the 4th duty that they mentioned, is to prosecute election crimes. And I would suggest to you that I have experience in doing things regarding election matters and election crimes. As I say, I've been to court in Pennsylvania, in federal court on election matters. And so there's a lot of things, there's a lot of places you can do work to assist the people and defend their rights. There's not just one place you can do it, you can do it a lot of places. When it comes to the situations about criminal matters, regarding elections also, I want to back up a moment. I represented and filed an election lawsuit on behalf of an organization called the Illinois Conservative Union. We've been in court against the Board of Elections on that case for a little over 2 years. And the Illinois Attorney General has been practicing what I call lawfare against us. They've been dragging the four grandmothers that are essentially the board of directors. They're up and down the courthouse steps. We've won motions to dismiss. We've beat several of those. Now they're asking whether these grandmothers have any criminal records. And so they're practicing lawfare. And the first thing, on my very first day, I'm going to do is we're going to gather in all these cases where the Attorney General has been litigating against the state of Illinois, and we are going to resolve those cases through negotiation and not litigation. And then we're going to take those 40 or 50 assistant attorneys general that are now litigating against the people of the state of Illinois and do what? We're going to turn them loose to monitor the Kim Foxes, the Eric Reinhardts, the other prosecutors who are not prosecuting cases. And while in fact there are good prosecutors in the Attorney General's office, wouldn't it be great to have an experienced prosecutor judging the kind of work they do? I have in fact done more than 400 felony prosecutions that I was involved in, felony prosecutions and investigations, more than 10,000 misdemeanors. I have in fact had the privilege to stand in court and say, Your Honor, good morning, David J. Shestokas on behalf of the people of the state of Illinois. And you know what I know coming from that? I know that job, that unusual job where you have to say that, is a special duty in the legal profession. You know, what a lawyer is supposed to do most of the time is to zealously advocate for their clients. And that's certainly a good thing to do. But when you have a job like Attorney General or an Assistant State's Attorney or a State's Attorney, your actual job is to justice. I knew that when I would say on behalf of the people that the individual to my right who was accused of a crime, he's also one of the people. And I have a duty that if somebody's going to try and take somebody's life, liberty, or property, you have to follow due process of law. You have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. And I would suggest to you that it's important that somebody that's doing that has experience in doing that previously and is in a position to judge those folks that are also doing that. In that regard, I just want to mention, I have the endorsements of the chiefs of police of Peatone, Lamont, Robbins, Burbank, Schroeder. The sheriff of Macon County has now endorsed my campaign. We expect that the Union Lodge 66 in Lake County that represents the sheriffs in Lake County has endorsed my campaign. We're looking forward to further law enforcement endorsements as we go forward because, in fact, we are going to make crime illegal again. Yeah! Thank you very much, Dave Shestokas, and thank you, Sergeant, for your service.